Hello and welcome to PLMR's Week Ahead in Westminster. I'm Rob Comba, and ahead of the general election, we'll be speaking to politicians from parties all across the country to find out how they're preparing for it. Today, I'm in the office of Stephen Hammond. He's the Conservative MP for Wimbledon in South London. Now, Stephen, you've fought numerous general elections in the past. How is this one different from previous ones?
I think the first thing about this one is that I don't think anyone has yet got any real certainty about who's going to win. But I also think it's the most important general election for a generation because of the ramifications of what happens. And I think it's really important that people go out and vote.
So, can you just give us a flavour of your general election campaign operation?
Well, the key thing about this general election is the economic recovery. This government took some pretty hard decisions at the beginning of it, and we're now seeing the economic recovery really strongly come through. And that's important, not just because an economic recovery is important because it allows you to have a strong health service, a strong transport service and everything else, but because it gives real opportunity to people. Unemployment in my constituency has fallen below all recognition. It's about 1%. Youth unemployment's fallen 40% in the last 2 years. 200 new apprenticeships last year. People having the chance to have a job, live their lives. And that's really, I think, really important. And that the sort of thing, the atmosphere that creates in this country is huge. And I'm worried that my opponents don't share that zeal to continue the economic recovery and to give people opportunity.
What's your campaign team like on the ground in Wimbledon?
It's pretty good. We've got as you say, having fought a few now, I'm pretty long in the teeth. So we immediately the council elections stopped last year. We started the general election campaign, frankly, in terms of knocking on more doors. We always knock on doors anyway, but doing it a bit more regularly now, and we have been for a while. And a lot of other activities that we're doing to support the campaign team. I'm very lucky. I have a pretty big, good group of activists, but I'm also keen to make sure that I help and support seats around me as well, so that it's not just about my majority, it's about getting more Conservative MPs.
Do you find it difficult to join the teams out on the ground in South London when you've still got your duties as an MP to do here in Westminster?
Well, I think most MPs will tell you, Rob, that actually it's pretty simple. You just work harder, and it's it's organisation. But I get out there. I'll be out there a couple of evenings this week. We're out there next weekend. I was out last weekend. They're both in Wimbledon and in Kingston last weekend. And I'm really beginning to sense a bit of as the national opinion polls are telling you, a bit of people really beginning to think about what really this election really means, and some pick up for strong Conservative support.
Now, you touched on the opinion polls briefly there. We're being told this election could be one of the closest ever. We might be seeing another coalition. Would you be happy to do an agreement with the Lib Dems again?
Well, as all politicians are going to tell you at this stage, with 65 days to go, I'm actually campaigning for a Conservative majority, and we'll worry about what the landscape looks like afterwards. But I'm really keen to see a Conservative majority so we can do more of reform of welfare, more people in jobs, cutting tax, more investment in transport, more houses being built. And I could go on, more investment in the local health service. Locally, we had some farcical idiots saying save the NHS in Wimbledon. Well, we don't need to save the NHS in Wimbledon. I've got a new health centre being built which wasn't built under 13 years of Labour dithering. We've got another new health centre built in one of my other areas. The NHS is very safe under the Conservative Party.
If you had to do a deal with another party, who would be your preferred coalition partner?
I think we should do a deal with the whole of the Conservative Party, and have a large Conservative majority. So I'd encourage everybody to go out there and vote Conservative on May the 7th.
Now, one or two of your now former colleagues have defected to UKIP. Do you see that particular party as a threat to the Tories' chances in the election?
I wish them a long and happy retirement.
So you're not tempted yourself to perhaps switch parties?
I think hell will freeze over first.
That's great, Stephen. And in terms of the key issues for voters at the general election, what do you think they are?
I think it's pretty clear, actually. It's the economy, because it gives everything else. As I said at the start of this interview, Rob, if you have a strong economy, all those other services can be provided. But the chance it gives to people's lives, to people to have and live their own lives, the chance to be in a job, the self-respect that generates, I think that's huge. So the economy has to be at the front, the centre, the side of this campaign. And any party who can't give voters a good answer as to how their economic plan is going to continue this recovery and growth in the UK, how you're going to invest in future technology, how you're going to invest in future jobs, I think has got a real case to answer. Of course there'll be the NHS. But this government, as I told you, locally, in Wimbledon, I have a proud record. I have a proud record to stand on in London. Nothing's ever perfect. and the Prime Minister admits. But the fact of the matter is this government has committed billions more to the health service, generating in more doctors and more nurses. I'm extraordinarily proud of the work we've done in infrastructure. Obviously, as you know, I'm particularly interested in transport. But the sort of infrastructure spending that has gone on, and particularly for Londoners, if you think about London, there was a real chance that the tube upgrade might have been cancelled. It wasn't. And we're seeing those direct benefits. So a lot of those benefits are there. I think actually, at the end, this is a very clear election. This is about, do you go back to the past or forward? And it's the politics of envy with the Labour Party and the politics of aspiration with the Conservative Party.
Stephen Hammond, thank you. And we'll be speaking to many more MPs and candidates ahead of the general election. And you can find all of our blogs, podcasts and videos online at plmr.co.uk.